People die if they are killed. That's a fun fact. Hello everybody. Welcome to Doki Doki Blue Skies, episode 11. And the reason I know it's episode 11 is because I was recording for about 2 minutes and I was not recording my voice, only the screen. I'm very intelligent when it comes to these sorts of things. I will recap yet again what happened. We helped Yuri carry books and she wanted to do that on her own, but we were like, hey, no, we're gonna help you. So we basically forced our way into helping her with the books. Yuri twisted her ankle. That happened, and we were like, hey, how's your ankle? And then she just walked past us into the club, because I think she's a bit upset. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into things. And Markapi Sue says, Yuri. And, okay, Natsuki. Trouble in paradise! Sorry, Markapi, is something wrong? Hey guys, sorry, I just really need to talk to Yuri right now. Yuri, can we talk outside? Alright. I quickly shuffle Yuri out of the room while attempting an apologetic face at the others. I'll just be borrowing Yuri for a little bit, guys. Carry on with whatever you were doing. Yuri. Sorry, but did I upset you? Huh? What do you mean? Well, you didn't answer me when I asked you a question before. Oh, I must not have heard you. Really, I can't tell if she's simply making an excuse or not. Sorry, I just don't particularly feel like talking right now. Yuri turns her face away from me, a sheet of silky hair blocking her from view. Suffice to say, I'm feeling rather off balance right now. You don't have to tell me about it if you don't want to. But just know that I'll always provide you a listening ear. Thank you. Sorry about assuming things when I took the books off your hands. I just really wanted to help you. No need to apologize, Markapi. There's really no logical reason for me to be upset over it. She sighs deeply, closing her eyes. I don't know why I feel the way I feel. Is it strange to say that I don't understand myself? No, I don't think that's strange at all. I think that a lot of people could relate to that feeling, including myself. It probably takes a lot of emotional intelligence to truly articulate why you don't feel so hot. But please, don't be afraid to contact me if you ever need help. For that matter, don't be afraid to contact any of the other girls as well. I'm sure they'd pick up the phone pretty fast. I think you mean quickly. Eh? Never mind. Well, I'm glad to have your support, Markapi. Yeah, of course. Would you like to head back inside now? The others must be wondering what we're doing out here. Oh. Alright, wouldn't want to keep them waiting too long, I guess. Well, that was weird. Monica arches an eyebrow at me as I head back inside, Yuri trailing along behind me. Had a pleasant conversation then? Sure, pleasant enough. Jeez, next time you spend half the club time standing around outside and forcing an actual integral member of the club to do the same, just don't bother to come. Integral member? Huh? I mean, it's not like I meant anything special by that. I just meant that you're one of the big four, like the original members. So yeah, don't look so deeply into it. Hehe, Natsuki asking Yuri not to analyze words is like asking me not to eat. You know, it's not saying much if you're part of the big four when there are only 5 members in the club. Oh, you know what I mean. Looks like Natsuki's fonder of Yuri than she lets on. Hey, stop ganging up on me! Oh, it's good to be back. Is that it for the club? Is it? I mean, I guess we didn't write a poem since the festival happened last time, but that seemed very short-lived. And it appears if I took last episode maybe 3 minutes longer, we would have had a clear-cut break. Professional YouTuber Markapi Sue at your service. Today, Yuri and I are going out shopping together. Whoa. I don't remember making plans for this in the previous episodes, so this is quite a new development. And judging by the sunny weather outside, it looks like there's some pathetic fallacy going on. And she always got that turtleneck with them big, gosh darn locks of hair and milkers. I can't even remember the last time I went food shopping of my own volition. I'll have to admit, I was surprised when you messaged me about it. Yeah, it just gets kind of boring for me personally, shopping alone. And I figured that you make great company. Well, I can't say I can relate to feeling bored while shopping alone. I actually rather enjoy spending that time with my thoughts to myself. Oh? I guess that does make sense. Not to say that I don't want to be here right now. I mean, it's a nice change of pace. Being able to talk to someone and gather their opinions on different products. And I did have to buy more groceries too. No worries, I get you. You know, you kind of sound like Natsuki there. Yuri's pretty cute when she gets flustered. I nearly have to bite my tongue to stop myself from teasing her so I can see her get flustered again. Careful, Markapi, she's not Sayori, and she might not respond as well to teasing. Although she probably wouldn't respond as badly as Natsuki. Oh dang, this is a nice looking shop. And by nice looking shop, I mean does not look like a good shop. And there's the store. Yuri and I pick up shopping baskets as we enter the store. Is that supposed to be Kit Kats? It kind of looks like Kit Kat. If you like turn your head sideways and squint. That's obviously some Pocky. Got some Pocky over here. This looks like a deformed Pikachu. Or a cat, perhaps. A rat cat, even. That's about all I can pick out. By the way, what items were you looking for? Oh, just some basic stuff like ramen and frozen foods. Pretty much just instant food. Oh, I see. I can almost feel the judgment. Note to self, learn how to cook something that takes more than 2 seconds to make. A guy who can cook is never a bad thing. Do you happen to have everything else you need then? What do you mean? I meant things such as vegetables, spices, and the like. Yeah, those are hardly ever in my house. I actually don't have that stuff at home. Usually I just make pre-made food. You know, food that you just need to heat up or boil for a few minutes. Do your parents usually cook your meals and buy the fresher ingredients then? I wish. It'd be great if my mom was home more often to do that. Although I can't be ungrateful. The reason why she's away all the time is because she needs to raise me as a single mother. And that's definitely not an easy task. I actually do most of the cooking since my mom's usually out for work. Ever since she got that huge promotion, she's had to travel the world on business trips to see clients. Oh, I see. She looks away for a moment. What about your father? Oh, well, my parents got divorced some time ago. I'm sorry, Markapi. You don't have to talk about it if you prefer not to. No, it's fine. I've come to terms with it already. Everything was all fine and happy when I was a kid, but my parents gradually started arguing more and more as I grew up. Now that I look back, I think it was because my dad took my mom for granted. Like, even though they both worked, my mom also cooked and cleaned and did all the usual homemaker stuff. They started getting more and more stressed out because of everything, until they finally split. I ended up with my mom, and my dad just left. I think he has a new girlfriend, but I haven't seen them a lot. I don't know. I just feel kind of weird whenever I think about my dad having a new partner. Yuri gazes at me with a gentle look on her face. Surprising, her eyes hold a gentle understanding in them, rather than pity. Sorry. I didn't mean to go on and on about it. I usually bottle this stuff up, so I guess it just flooded out. That's alright, Markapi. There's no need to apologize. I can't say I have much experience with dealing with divorced parents, but if you ever need to vent about it, I'll be here. After all, it's only fair if I reciprocate. Thanks, and yeah, just having someone to listen helps. We move through the aisles in a companionable silence for a while. The light from the fluorescent strips overhead shine brightly off the jars and packages we pass by. There's a small clinking sound as Yuri softly drags her fingertips across a row of jars containing kimchi. So, Yuri, do your parents do most of the cooking? I typically prepare the meals. Oh, what do you normally cook? She takes a moment looking at some of the food in front of us. Some of my favorite foods are fish-based. There's nothing as delectable as teriyaki salmon, in my opinion. She stands up straighter as she says this, a smile glowing on her face. I really do enjoy home cooking. Most people look forward to eating out at restaurants, but I've always preferred eating comfort foods at home. Sometimes a simple rice dish is all it takes to warm you up inside. You should actually try making one sometime. They're very convenient and extremely quick recipes. I mean, you literally only need a rice cooker to cook rice, so not too much of a... It's basically an instant food at that point, in my opinion. Oh, can you give me some recipes then? Hoo, they hardly need recipes. One that I usually reserve for breakfast is egg rice. I assume that you have a rice cooker at home, yes? Who doesn't have one? Well, whoa, that's not what Yuri sounds like. Well, that simplifies things a lot. All you have to do is make a bowl of nice, fluffy white rice and dig a small dip in the middle of the bowl of the rice. Gosh, I need some water, man. It is getting to me. Next to me, I have a Yankee candle. It is chili cotton. And the aroma right now, I'm just wafting this aroma. It is very, very succulent. Very, it's almost like an aphrodisiac. I'm getting a bit aroused if could be ever so honest. Anyway, back to the game. After that, you crack a raw egg in the middle, season with soy sauce and rice seasoning, mix it together with your chopsticks, and you're done. Huh? That does sound really simple. Although I think I ran out of rice seasoning a long time ago. Well, you can pick some up now. It really is a delicious dish despite, or perhaps because of its simplicity. The frothy lightness of the egg paired with the subtle sweetness of the rice and rich savoriness of the seasonings. I actually like to sprinkle on some chopped green onions at the end too, for that extra bit of crisp freshness. Man, my mouth is watering at this point. Hoo, that's what comfort food does to you. One of my guilty pleasures is even simpler though. Sometimes when I don't have the time or energy to cook, I take cold leftover rice and pour some hot tea over it. Wow, you're more of a tea lover than I thought. Haha. It may sound strange, but it's a delight when I pair it with slices of pickled daikon? Daikon? Perhaps. No, I get you though. When I was a kid, my mom used to give me leftover rice drizzled with soy sauce if I begged for a snack whenever she was too busy to cook me something substantial. That's a long sentence. Now that I think about it, it probably tastes similar to egg rice. Most likely, yes. I do enjoy making more complicated side dishes to accompany rice, though. Vegetable stir-fries are dishes that I return to quite often. I do enjoy the combination of sweetness and umami. The way an onion's sharp, sweet taste pairs with other vegetables such as mushrooms and bell peppers really satisfies my appetite. Wow, you're quite a chef, eh? She starts blushing and puts her hands together. I just know some family recipes is all. Once you understand the basics of cooking, it's quite easy to make something appetizing. If your cooking is anything like your poetry, I'd love to learn from you. I'm not aiming to be a master chef, but I could learn even just a bit from Yuri. I could probably mix up dinner some... I could probably mix up my dinner some. That was weird. As we pass through the freezer aisle, or aisle as it's actually pronounced, I fill up a good portion of my basket with bags of frozen dumplings. So do you really like dumplings then? Well, while I do like dumplings, this brand of gyoza is a bit special. Yuri stares at the freezer for a moment. How so? Well, I guess they hold some nice memories. Even though my mom did make homemade dumplings sometimes, my dad and I always liked this brand of frozen dumplings the most. I guess it's kind of become one of our favorite dishes, despite being, well, a frozen food. That always drove my mom crazy. My parents have always been busy with work, but we tried to have at least one meal together as a family every day. Then after a while, we went from having them every day to every other day. And for a lot of those meals, my mom ended up making the gyoza because my dad and I wanted them. Why didn't you try making them yourself? Well, we tried, but my dad and I always burnt them. We tried boiling them too, but I prefer them fried. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of conditioned to associate these dumplings with good time spent with my family. Oh, I see. For a moment, Yuri is lost in thought. So, do you still burn them, or... Hey, what kind of opinion do you have about my cooking? I never burn them anymore. Well, I rarely burn them. Yuri giggles at my admission. I suppose you've made quite a lot of them then. Sure have. I miraculously haven't gotten tired of them yet either. Actually, there's a funny story attached to one of the first times I tried making them myself. Oh? What happened? Do you remember when I talked about how Sayuri almost burned down her house after she tried cooking? Yes, I believe I do. Well, that was the time we tried making those dumplings ourselves. I left Sayuri in charge when I went to the bathroom. Then I started smelling smoke, accompanied by her yelling from downstairs. Apparently she tried to pick up the pan and the dumplings were frying on. Apparently she tried to pick up the pan the dumplings were frying on and somehow burnt herself and flipped the pan in the process. All the dumplings were scattered on the stove. Those poor, poor dumplings. She started panicking, and before she knew it, dumplings were on fire. I'm just glad her parents kept a fire extinguisher underneath the sink. It sounds like you had quite the time. Yeah, and luckily, Sayuri wasn't burned much by the pan. All's well that ends well, I guess. It seems like those dumplings are to you as oolong tea is to me. How so? Well, she picks up a package of oolong tea. When I was younger, my mother always made fresh tea when I arrived home. Occasionally it was another kind of tea, but we usually had oolong. At first I was indifferent to the tea, but over time I developed a taste for it. Now, whenever I drink it, it reminds me of her. That's really nice, Yuri. I guess we're more similar than I imagined. You know what? I have an idea. How about we cook something together at my house this weekend? Oh, baby, that's a date. That's a date, boy. Are you certain? I mean, I'm not exactly an expert in preparing food now. Well, good thing I'm no expert either. That way we can learn together. I see your point there. Would Sunday morning work? I apologize. I have some obligations that I must attend to on Sunday. She looks up and away for a moment, waving her hands. Not that I don't want to spend time with you. This Sunday's usually a day I spend... She turns away again. I'm guessing she's lost in thought. Either that or she really likes the whole wheat bread. How about Saturday night? Yes, that would work. She lets out a sigh of relief and continues walking with me to the checkout. Well, this is epic, boys. We got ourselves a little date action. With everything paid for, we start the walk home. As I turn to speak to Yuri, though, I spot of small flash of pink. I think that's supposed to be a small flash of pink. Oh man, why do we gotta run? Oh man, I'm gonna need my water, boys. Hey, look, it's Natsuki. Yuri starts speeding up a little. Do you want to say hi to her? I don't know. She seems like she might be busy. Besides, don't you need to get your dumplings in the freezer? I mean, I guess, but... Guys, I'm gonna make this decision based on my voice being sore. So... And we have to get our dumplings in the freezer, so... This is for the sake of the dumplings, you know? You're right, Yuri. I guess she does look busy now that you mention it. And there's always tomorrow. I wonder what this decision means in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. Ignorance is bliss. Let's just go with it. With one last glance back, I start walking away with Yuri. Yuri sighs a bit as we continue walking. I'm guessing she wanted to talk to Natsuki, but felt too anxious to do so. It's alright, Yuri. It's a bit scary to do this kind of stuff sometimes. You'll be able to practice talking more at the club. Yeah. I'll try again another time. The walk back is rather quiet. Is Yuri still thinking about what happened? She looks off to the side in quiet rumination all the way back. Well, here we are. Guess we should split up for now. Goodbye then, Markapi. Hold on. I say that without thinking, but I just felt a compulsion to not leave things the way they are. Don't sweat it too much, Yuri. It might be hard now, but with a little more practice, I'm sure you'll be able to speak more freely. After all, you were able to make me feel welcome when I first joined the club. So, if you can do that, in theory, you could do it for others too. That's true. Thank you for your kind words. I'll definitely talk to Natsuki at school. Oh, and you too, of course. Haha, I'll be looking forward to it. Epic transition time. That was a nice little rendezvous, shopping experience, shopping extravaganza with Yuri. That's a good episode title, the shopping extravaganza. It's Saturday. Tonight, Yuri's coming over to cook with me, so I better make sure that everything's ready for it. She'll definitely have higher expectations than me, that's for sure. Soy sauce, sesame oil, green onions, garlic. Seems like I have everything we need. The kitchen itself, on the other hand, well, it's unkempt to say the least. When was the last time I used some of this stuff? I involuntarily grimace as I swipe a finger across the dusty surface of a pan. Definitely not a setting that Yuri would be used to cooking in. A few minutes of blood, sweat, and tears later, everything's clean. Or at the very least, passable. We probably won't use most of this, but with my luck, we'll need the one thing I didn't wash. Epic knock time. Right on cue, there's a knock at the door. It's either a very polite robber or Yuri. After quickly drying off the last dish, I answer it. Hi, Markapi. She's carrying a few bags that I assume contain groceries. Hey, Yuri, great to see you. Come on in. Hopefully, binge watching various cooking shows featuring an angry chef yelling at other cooks was enough preparation for this. At least it'd have prepared me for being yelled at for my inevitable mistakes. Poofed, Yuri yelling at me. After seeing the groceries down on the counter, I grab a clean pan. Alright, so what shall we make first? Good question. So long as it doesn't end up with a call to the fire department, I'm fine with whatever. She giggles slightly. Well, I believe we'll be fine. We'll be good regardless, so come on. Chuckleberry Finn. Dude, the writhing. Ooh, that was a good one. That's a knee slapper. She stares at me for a solid few seconds. What? Are you retarded? Oh, my apologies. I didn't realize. It's alright. To be honest, it was a pretty bad joke anyway. Trying to ignore my burning face, I moved the conversation along. So, what do you feel like having? Would you be open to making the teriyaki salmon? Sounds good to me. We gathered the ingredients and equipment together on the kitchen table. Yuri takes a deep breath and concentrates on the food in front of her. You alright, Yuri? Yeah, it's just that I haven't done this in a while. That is, cooking with someone. I can't relate to that. But if you made it as many times as it sounds like you have, this should be a cinch for you. Ha, thank you for the vote of confidence. She places a scrap of paper with a handwritten recipe on the counter. The handwriting looks to be Yuri's, but something's different about it. I suppose we should begin by making the sauce. Markapi, could you pass me the soy sauce and sesame oil? Sure, just tell me what I have to do. Okay, could you peel and mince 2 cloves of garlic in the meantime? That's one of the few things I can actually do competently in the kitchen, so you chose a fitting job for me. Mom loves using garlic, so I've seen it cooked often enough to know what I'm doing. After peeling it, I place the garlic under the knife and crush it. Yuri's focus on her cooking is intense, to say the least. It's like how she is when she talks about literature. One thing that amazes me is how fast and efficient her movements are. The longer we cook, the more confident she becomes. It's rather difficult to keep up with how fast she moves at times. Before I know it, The salmon's marinated in the sauce and ready to be baked. Wow. You talked about how you weren't an expert, yet you're incredible. It's not, with enough practice. I broke Yuri. Yuri, it's alright. It's not often that I see you have so much passion for something other than literature. Yeah, I'm a bit of a fan of cooking. My family had teriyaki salmon dishes every Saturday evening when I was younger, and I ended up learning from my mother how to cook it. Eventually, I practiced enough for the whole process to become a bit of a blur. Honestly, I wish I had done the same thing and learned how to make family recipes as well. But it's not too late for you to learn, right? That's true. Speaking of family, are you bringing some of the food back for them as well? The salmon wouldn't be good by the time I returned home, so you can have the leftovers. Fine by me. Anyway, could you start cooking the rice while I put the salmon in the oven? Alright. Wouldn't be much of a dinner if it were just salmon. The whole kitchen smells of salmon with a subtle, sweet undernote to it. Man, I wouldn't mind if my kitchen smelled like this 24/7. Hoo-hoo, maybe now that you've learned this recipe from me, you could cook it for yourself. I think I'll want to practice a few more times under your guidance before I do it myself. Anyway, let's eat. Let's. It does smell rather appetizing. The salmon is tender and flaky when I bite into it. It comes apart with no trouble at all. Each and every chew releases a burst of umami, with the teriyaki flavor perfectly complementing the fish. Yuri, this is amazing. It's nothing really. Despite her protest, a smile spreads across her face. A few minutes later, we've had our fill. I had a hard time holding myself back from eating more, but it'd be bad manners to devour everything in front of Yuri. This is really nice. Having dinner with someone over, and having something made fresh as well. It's quite dark outside. Wow, it's already 9. Time flies, eh? I should be going now. This isn't super late, but I think she mentioned before that she wakes up early regardless of the day. That's my kind of girl. Early to bed, early to rise. Need that. Need it, boys. Need it. Do you want me to walk you home? She shakes her head. I'll be fine. Although I do appreciate the offer. I really enjoyed our time together, Markapi. It's been a lot of fun for me too. You're more than welcome to come over anytime you want. That's much appreciated. Before I know it, she's already at the door. Oh, could you wait a moment? I believe I forgot something important. Huh? What is it? It's the paper with the recipe on it. No problem, let me grab it for you. After a moment of searching, I spot it next to the stove. Phew, at least it's safe. As I hand it to her, I take a closer look at the recipe. Huh? Your handwriting seems a little different on this note. That's because it's my mother's handwriting. Makes sense. Well, it's just as pretty as your handwriting. I suppose so. I always did admire her penmanship. She smiles to herself, a faraway look in her eyes. Well, see you Monday. My words seem to pull her out of her thoughts. She pauses for a moment, but then smiles at me. See you then. Dude, I think that's a perfect place to end the episode, if you're asking me. What do you guys think? Should we go on? No? You want me to end the episode there? Alright. It's like an episode of Dora the Explorer. Like, no matter what you say, the script is going on. Okay. Go ahead and do me 4 favors. I'm gonna need a like, requesting a comment, even a subscription. That'd be pretty epic. And as always, help me find a girlfriend. And bye-bye.